G'day guys, it's Paul here from Victoria. Thought I'd just give you a bit of an update on my VH Charger. Look, I rebuilt the engine last year and I've had a few little harmonic issues which has been frustrating me, so I made a decision to pull the engine out and see what was going on. Before that I did some trial and error, and look, I thought it could have been the tail shaft giving me issues, so I replaced the tail shaft. I went to a chrome molly. I had to do that anyway, so but the problem was still there, so I pulled the engine out and stripped it down. But I'll give you a bit of a look at the Charger. Check this out. 408 W2 headed engine. There you go guys. Look, I wanted to show you these bearings. I pulled down the engine and straight away what really stood out was these bearings here. This engine I built only done like probably 200, 300, 400 kilometers. They were hard kilometers. I was drag racing it down at my local track down at South Coast there, Portland, 1/8 of a mile. Given a hard time. Look, changing gears about 7,000 RPM, but look, I was a little bit surprised the bearing wear. After talking to a few people, I think I know why. I'm trying to narrow it down. Look, I was using this oil here, this 1540 semi-synthetic oil here. I think that's the issue. I think the oil was too thin. I got onto the tech guys and they all said I had to run a thicker oil. I went to Newlon. The Newlon tech said I really should be running this. I asked a few guys on the forum, they also said the same. I was a little bit worried about the 60 weight viscosity, but they said no, not at all, that'd be fine. Once it heats up, that will lower anyway. So my new engine's built with this. With the new engine rebuild as well, I put a brand new converter in it, SDE converters down in Cheltenham in Victoria there. Thanks Peter, good job. Steam mini tub. 8-inch converter, that's made a real difference now with this new combo. It's really livened it up. It really breaks loose in second under full noise. Look, 408 727 True Track 9-inch running 411s. That made a huge difference, that converter. This build, I got my crank re-ground. Here she is here, ladies and gentlemen. I got the crank ground again. One thing I did do, change oil pumps. I went from a standard, I went back to a standard actually. I had a high volume Malins in it and I thought I could have been bleeding off too much oil, draining the sump dry. Look, my sumps are milder than 8 quarts, but look, who knows? So it could have been a mixture of the oil grade or my or just draining the oil out. So as you know guys, looking at oil pressure gauges, drag racing, it's pretty full on. You can't really read the gauge under full noise. So what I've done to safeguard myself, I've installed like a oil light, and I've just installed a sensor down here. Check this out. You can see it down here, oil sensor. That activates my red light when the oil pressure drops under 50 psi. Look, most of you might say, gee, that's high to activate the light, but when you turn into 6,500, 7,000 RPM and you start losing oil pressure, you need enough time to catch it. You know, at least if the light comes on at full noise, you know, hopefully that will save it next time if it ever does happen again. This engine, like I said, it's got the W2 heads on it, M1 manifold, all been ported. The heads flowed a bit over 300 CFM, 2-inch and 80 valve, you know, and she made a bit over 600 horsepower, 500 and something, I think about 525 pound torque. Made power about 6,800, so I changed gears about 7,000. Look, also want to shout out to John at JSR Race Engines. His extractors are on here, tri-wise. 1 3/4 primary. She made over 600 horsepower guys. Look, if you're looking to get extractors, I recommend these. If your build's only under 600 horsepower, why don't you go for something like this? Look, 1 7/8 might make you a little bit more power, who knows, but the overkill, what's the set going to cost you? A lot of money. These are well worth it, the best value for money. Recommend it, mate. 600 horsepower of these tri-wires, no worries at all. It's got a recycled cam in it I had there. It's a Howard's cams, a solid flat tappet. Look, it's a 259 at 50 duration, 108 lobe center. But it's only got 570 thou lift after lash, you know. So it still made a bit over 600 horsepower. Not a huge cam, and good on the street, you know, not too much lift either. So it's great stuff. That's it about the engine. I think I mentioned it runs on E85. That's a Mark Sullins E85 carby there. And I'll just show you in the cab here, the old girl, the old Charger. There we go. You can see that red light there I've just installed. Interesting gauge, I recommend this one. This is air fuel ratios. I can tune as I'm going along. So, recommend to anyone wants to do some tuning. I'll just start her up. The oxygen sensors are just warming up, so I can start reading. Here she is here. My AFR gauges are reading now. The measuring lambda, so 1 on this scale means 14.7 on the AFRs. So look, it's not real warm, so as it warms up these will start to lean off and go towards more 1. Recommend this one. A is the left bank and B is the right bank. Really good for tuning. Semi oil pressure there, really good oil pressure. Cruising along, sits on about 76 psi when it's hot. When it's really hot at idle, it's around about 40 to 45. The light does activate down there, but as soon as you just touch the throttle, it goes away anyway. That's her 408 W2 build. Nothing over the top, a bit rough around the edges. Bit of the exhaust note under here. There you go, guys. VH Charger.